This is Nick Nielsen, Mad Scientist of Muscle, and what I've got for today here is a quick review of a really cool and useful piece of training equipment from my friends at Rosenblatt. Now, this is very simple. It is a steel ramp. Now, what's so exciting about a steel ramp? There's a lot of things you can do with this. One of the primary things that comes to mind when you're looking at a ramp like this is heel elevated squats, front squats, back squats, whatever you feel like doing. Now, you can have, the way I like to do it is the balls of your feet on the floor, heels up, and then you're squatting. You can also stand completely on this thing, making it more of an angle, like a downhill. That's going to hammer the quads even a little bit more. Now, before I get into more of the exercises, I want to give you kind of a close-up of what this thing is all about. Now, you can see on here, this is a nice tread pattern. This is solid steel. This is not going, the old adage, this is not going anywhere. Like with tie-down straps that every guy has to say once you tie something down. This is not going anywhere. It's not only solid steel, it's got little rubber grips on the bottom here. So even if you're a little off kilter and you step forward, this is not going to slide out from underneath you. It's solid underneath, but it's also hollow, so it's not a heavy piece of equipment. I'd say this whole thing, maybe 7 or 8 pounds. Not heavy, anybody can use it. Now, lots you can do with it. For example, I showed you squats, you can do calf raises, use this as kind of a calf block. Now, the only difference with this thing is not quite as steep as some calf blocks are, but being rock solid and a flat surface, I find it very effective for calf training. Again, you can have your heels starting on the floor and then come up. That'll stop your range of motion, or you can go up higher on the ramp. I'll tilt the camera down so you can see, and I'll show you full exercises of these as well. But you're getting your whole foot on the ramp, you're getting a great stretch on the calves, and then you're coming up. Now for me personally, I prefer setups like this with a ramp over a calf block. It doesn't dig into your foot as much, so you can focus on working the calves rather than how much discomfort your feet are in. What you can also see here, I'll close up on it, this part right here is rounded all the way across. So not only can you use this for a ramp, you can actually string a band under here and it's not going to catch on a sharp edge and break, essentially. So this rounded section right here is excellent for, again, going back to the squat example, you loop a band underneath and suddenly you're doing band resisted squats with the band underneath, and without the band, you have to be worried about the band snapping or breaking. So I'm going to show you some more exercises you can do with this ramp. This is a great way to use the ramp to work the triceps. The angle of the ramp is perfect for keeping your wrists in a neutral position as you're doing the exercise. So you can do a close grip push-up going to a full overhead arm extended position with very little wrist stress. Great way to go. Now I'm using the ramp in order to do an abdominal sit-up. The upper back is over the end of the bench. This allows me to arch over the back and then get a really strong stretch before I come up into a full contracted position on the sit-up. My feet are on a post there, but you can use a wall to anchor as well, not a problem. Now I'm using the ramp to roll the deadlift bar up and unload the bar. Now this helps save your back, saves your biceps from having to pick the entire end of the bar up as you're loading and unloading the bar. The thing is rock solid, so even if you have the heaviest weight you can even put on there, it's not going to make a dent in it at all. That's the ramp by Rosenblatt. Really nice piece of equipment.